What's going on, my friends? It is Friday night, and it's time for our Friday night live, Friday night unwind. And so let's go ahead. Let's check on in. Let me know where you are. Let me know how your week has been going. We got a full show for you today. And so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to talk about some cigars, talk about some whiskey. We're going to have some good times. And so let's go ahead and check on in. Let me know what you got in your glass. Let me know what cigar you've got. Go ahead and check on in as I get myself situated. And so we are excited about what we're going to do tonight. You know, all of our shows, we got stuff well planned out. We bring you a full show. And so go ahead and check in. Now, for those who joined us on Tuesday, and so if it looked like I was in the dark, I actually wasn't in the dark. It's just that. So as you can see, here 6 p.m., the sun is shining. I'm in sunny Southern California. Weather is great. Problem is when I try to set up, sometimes the sun is shining on me. And so I had this idea that maybe I'll mess with the settings of my camera. And so I turned down the white light, or I turned it down. So I took it from being on auto, made it dark. I thought that was the right thing to do until the sun set. And now my camera is just set on a dark setting. And I've got lights shining on me, but the camera is in this dark setting. And so for those who caught that last 30 minutes on Tuesday from 6:45 to about 7:15, yeah, we were in the dark, but that's all good. In fact, that's one of the things I want to talk about. I want to talk about how I'm always tweaking stuff. I'm always trying to make the show just a little bit better. I'm always trying to see, what can I do? What can I improve? What kind of angle can I change it to? If you notice, I'm shooting from a whole different angle right now. I'm always looking to see, how can we make things better? And so let's go ahead and check in. We're going to have some conversation. What's going on? Tandem Man, loving his channel. He is the king of the Don Carlos. Man, I don't know if there's another human being who has more Don Carlos cigars than Tandem Man Stogie. So check out his channel. Brother Mark is here. Welcome, my friends. What's going on? Chris, Knob Creek, and Ashton VSG. Love that cigar. I love that VSG. What's going on, brother Leroy? What is happening? Leroy's got a flathead 660. Love that stick. That's a meaty, oily, flavorful one. What's going on, brother Bron from the OKC? How are you? And so we're going to have some conversation on tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be enjoying, I got me this Encore, EP Carrillo Encore. This is a sugar cookie. I love this stick. And I'll be pairing that. I'm celebrating tonight. Why? Because it's just a good night. Got me this E.H. Taylor small batch. And so we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time tonight. And so again, for those who caught the Tuesday show, I was tweaking with it, messing with it, trying to see how can I make things a little bit better. For those who caught maybe some of my recent videos, I put out a video. I've been tweaking with my editing settings as far as my color, my lighting. And I wanted to have more of a warm display. And so I've been tweaking with it. In my last video, I looked like I was on fire. I overdid it, messed it up. But that's okay. It's okay to keep tweaking stuff and trying. And I think a lot of people are afraid to try different things. Think about me. I don't care about failure. I don't care if I tweak something and I mess it up, but I'm afraid of not trying. There's a Japanese term known as kaizen, which means constant improvement. It means that you're always looking to make something better, always looking to improve. And that's me. I'm always going to be tweaking something, changing something. And so one thing that you're going to get with this channel is you're not going to get the same thing every single video, every single week. I'm always trying to see, what can I change? What can I make just a little bit better? And if I make a mistake, oh well, I'm not afraid to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake, but it's not okay to be complacent and just keep doing the same thing over and over. And so I'm always checking my sound. How can I make the sound better? How can I make the picture better? What can I do to improve what we're doing? And so let's check in, my friends. Steel Horse. Leroy. The Encore is a great cigar. EP Carrillo. So everything that they put out, the Encore, the La Historia, the Pledge, of course. But I like the Encore. That's my taste profile. Right in that medium, packed with a lot of flavor. We got to keep trying new things, different things. And so let me go ahead and light up. And so if you notice, I got time today. So I got this. I don't know if this is a Churchill size, but I got some smoke for tonight. What's going on? Cigar Head, my brother. Welcome, sir. Let us know what you smoking on, what you drinking on. And so I got me my EP Carrillo Encore. We're gonna have some conversation. We're just gonna unwind. Why? Because we've been rising and grinding all week long. And so we have earned this moment to just kick back, unwind. What's going on, old fogey? Brother Ron's got some Don Carlos on the way. And so you saw my shark video. Smoked one, enjoyed it, loved it. Don Carlos and everything that Arturo Fuente puts out is some really good stuff. Oh, my brother's got that Penelope Rio. So we are gonna go ahead and have us a good time. Okay. Cigar Head, I believe his name is Fred. He's got an anejo shark. Wonderful. And drinking a Penelope toasted. And so that's some really good. I love the story of Penelope. I think it was two guys. Might have been two guys who just started the company. Two guys who had a passion for whiskey. And so they put their money together, started a little company. And I think they just sold to MGP for about $200 million. And so that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. They had a passion for this thing, a love and a desire for this thing. And now they got about $200 million from this thing. And so Penelope puts out some really good stuff. I like the Architect series. And so the Rio is really good. Toasted is good. Barrel proof is good. So Penelope is some good stuff. And again, I got me my E.H. Taylor. And so usually I only drink this when I'm celebrating. I say, you know what? It's time to just start celebrating. Let's just celebrate every day. Let's just celebrate every day. Today, in fact, about an hour ago, I'll tell you what I did. I came outside, and now remember, I'm the boy who grew up in the islands. Grew up running around barefoot, Nassau, Bahamas. Grew up in the ocean. I stepped outside today and I realized, I said to myself, what's going on, my brother Stogie? See, brother Stogie, he's gonna convince me to smoke some Dunbartons, and so he loved the Dunbarton, and so he did a pretty good review today, a great review today on the Micarita Tricky Traca, and so go ahead, check that out. Today, I stepped outside stepped into my backyard, and the question that came to me, I said, when was the last time that your feet touched the earth? When's the last time you just touched the earth? Now, it's a concept called grounding, where you just touch the earth. And here I am, a kid, I grew up on the islands. And I said, it's been years since your feet just touched the earth. I'm not talking about walking around on tile or I'm not talking about walking around on your carpet. I'm talking about the earth, grass, dirt, sand. So I took my shoes off, took my socks off, and I just stood in the grass outside. And I closed my eyes and the sun just shined on me. And that was so relaxing. It felt like I was getting a massage. I just stood and just touched the earth. Just stood there. Closed my eyes for about 5 minutes. And then I said, you know what? When's the last time you just came outside and just relaxed? Yeah, I come outside and smoke and drink, but I said, when's the last time you just laid in one of these lawn chairs and just relax? Sunbathe. Just chill. And so I did that. And here's the thing, as I started doing it, I felt guilty because all the things I had to do, my schedule came into my mind, and I said, I can't do this for much longer. I gotta go. I got stuff to do. And then this thought came over me that, why can't you just chill for about 5 minutes? Why can't you just relax? You got this backyard, you got the sun shining. Why can't you just chill? And so you know what I did? I went and got me a magazine. I got me some lemonade. And I just laid on my lawn chair in the backyard, midday, 2 in the afternoon. And I just chilled, read the magazine, and I just relaxed. And I kept asking myself, why don't you think you deserve this? Why can't you just do this more often? Why are you always so busy? Why can't you just chill and relax? And I felt so guilty because I knew I had all these things to do, but I forced myself. And when I got done with that lemonade, when I got done with that magazine, I got up, finished doing my work. But gentlemen, ladies, we got to have these moments where we just stop. Life will wait for you. You don't always have to be rushing and running and gunning. Just stop. Take your shoes off. Go play hide and seek. Go to the park. Sit on a swing. Go to the beach. Let some sand get between your toes. And so we talked about getting pedicures and manicures and facials, but there's some stuff you could do for free. Just step in the grass. Just stand there. Just close your eyes. And so we're here to make sure that the people could just have a moment to just unwind. And I want to always remind you of that. We'll talk about mental health and all this stuff, but sometimes it's just as simple as just standing in the sun and just closing your eyes and just relaxing. And so that's why we do what we do. That's why we're here. We're here to just help the people. It's Friday. If you had a week like I did, you need this moment. And if you know my life, yeah, I got Monday through Friday, and it don't stop come the weekend. I'm teaching a class tomorrow. I got church on Sunday, so it doesn't stop. But I'm going to force myself to just take these moments and just ground Just walk around in the grass. Take my shoes off. Let the grass blades. You know what we ought to do? We ought to frolic. When's the last time you frolicked? When's the last time you just ran and just laughed? Wave your arms in the air and just ran and just had a good time. No wonder kids are so happy and adults are so mean and stressed out. Because y'all ain't frolicking. Y'all got to start frolicking. All right. We do got a show for you. We got a show for you. We just want to make sure everyone check in, get their cigars lit. We see Brother Fred has got his shark. I don't know if our Brother Stogie checked in with what he's got, but go ahead and check in. Let us know what you got in your glass, what stick you got before you. We're doing this tonight, and then beginning next week, we'll have our Tuesday show, our third Tuesday show, 6 o'clock, Friday, 6 o'clock. And then we're gonna crank it up a bit. We hitting you up with videos. We going 4 days a week. And so Monday through Saturday, we got you. We connected with you. And so we check the system, and the system will allow one more video each week. You know, one last thing I'll say before we even get started. I was talking earlier about just trying different things. So I was talking about my light. I messed up my camera light on Tuesday, trying to get fancy, and I just made a mess of it. So that's why the picture was so dark. I messed up my editing. I tried to make I tried to get a cinematic look, and I just messed it up. I made me look like I was on fire. Messed that up. But I don't stop there. You see, even if I make a mistake and I put out a video, I'm not going to stop there. I don't care about making a mistake. I'm going to keep learning, keep trying, keep working it out, keep figuring it out. In the last video I put out a video. I literally said in the video, nobody's going to watch this video. This is a video is about making it on YouTube. That video, it might have 100 views at this point. But I did it because I wanted to do something different. I know the video that's going to get views, and we could just keep doing the same stuff over and over. But I like to try to do something different. Push the envelope, help somebody, even if it means I'm not going to benefit from it. I know nobody was going to watch that video, but I did it because I said, you know what? In fact, I think old Fogey just said, sometimes you just got to do a kind act for someone else. Sometimes I'll just do a video knowing no one's going to watch it, but maybe I can help one person. If I can help one person, then I'm going to do it. And so the key is just trying different things. Can't just stay in that rut, doing the same thing over and over. Just do something different. And so that's what I'm always doing. I'm always pushing the channel, trying to see what can I do that's different. How can I help in a better way? All right, enough introduction. Let's give the people what they came here to see. First topic. We're going to unwind, my friend. I know you had a rough week. Holy Grail cigars. What are the Holy Grail cigars? What are those cigars where if you ain't smoked this, you can't even say you a cigar smoker? What are the Holy Grail cigars? And they don't even have to be expensive. But there are some cigars that you would have had to have lit them up at some point to really get the full experience of cigars. And so there's some unique profiles. And so there's a Cuban taste. There's a Dominican Republic taste. There's a Nicaragua taste. There's a Holy Grail. In fact, let's call it the the Mount Rushmore. The Mount Rushmore of cigars. And so for me, first holy grail, gotta be Opus X. And so as I mentioned, Dominican Republic tobacco, to really get a full understanding of what that tastes like, of that full experience, to get a full understanding of what is a premium cigar. Old Fogey mentioned Davidoff Oro Blanco. And so I've actually had that. So yeah, that's definitely up there. That's definitely up there. Brother Mark talks about Don Carlos. Yeah, I would put that definitely on the list. In fact, I would say, yeah, any of the Don Carlos. I think so you can really get an understanding of this African Cameroon, this sweetness. Because yes, a lot of cigars, they got that earthy leather spiciness. But the Don Carlos really, really helps a person to see and to understand the sweetness. And I would even just say the balance. And so Arturo Fuente, Don Carlos, yes, I think they're in that same wheelhouse where can you experience something that's balanced and sweet and pleasant? Because for a while, yeah, as we talk about New World cigars, Nicaragua, it was a little AJ happening, little spiciness, little earthiness. And for a while, that was just the place that we lived in, where that's what we expected. A cigar ought to knock you out, make you sit down. But then Arturo Fuente started coming out with some cigars where no, it ain't got to be so strong. It could be more subtle. You can get a pleasant sweetness on this. Yeah, I keep hearing about this EP Carrillo. I can't even pronounce it. Merifel, Cameroon. Okay, they're Cameroon. Keep hearing about that. So yeah, just that taste profile. So I think nobody does that better than what Arturo Fuente has done. Dominican tobacco, African Cameroon wrapper. Nobody has done that better. And so yeah, Arturo Fuente and then any of the Don Carlos. Andalusian Bull, I would definitely put that on the Mount Rushmore. And here's why, because I believe that's also Dominican Republic filler. I think it's an Ecuadorian wrapper. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you know why I would put the Andalusian Bull? Because yeah, great cigar, one cigar of the year. But the Vitola. So I think if you're getting into cigars, you're gonna have to experience some different cigar sizes. And so we all start smoking your Robustos. You might get a Toro. But when you get like a Solomon or some Figurado, or you get that Andalusian Bull, now that's just taking your experience to a whole nother level. And so the Andalusian Bull, and then also the idea that, okay, if you're a cigar smoker, can you sit here for 2 hours and smoke this cigar? And so just that commitment to it and just the experience of it, great cigar. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. What's going on, brother Matt? We talking about the Holy Grail cigars. Holy Grail cigars. So we got Opus X, Don Carlos, Andalusian Bull. Ron has mentioned, yeah, you guys, in fact, if you saw my notes, you would see these exact same cigars on the notes. The Padron 1964, definitely. Because we got to talk Nicaragua. We got to talk Padron. We got to talk excellence. And so definitely the 1964. I'm really glad you said the 1964. I think sometimes people would want to mention the 26, but I think the 64 is in a good spot to let you know that, okay, here's some good cigars, Nicaraguan tobacco, excellence, quality, Padron excellence. Definitely. Ah, Don Benino. And that's Costa Rican. That's Costa Rican. In fact, I got a buddy who just got back from Costa Rica, Fred, and he brought me some cigars, and I also got a box of the Don. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Don Benino. And so I got the Corona Gorda size. I haven't even smoked them, but yeah, I'm excited about that. I love Costa Rican tobacco. What's going on, everyone? Just giving shouts out to everybody. Cigar Carpenter. What is going on, all my friends out here? We talking about the holy grail of cigars. What are the holy grail of cigars? And so, yeah, a cigar that's going to focus on some Costa Rican tobacco. So we talk about Dominican Republic with the Toro Fuentes. You got Padron representing the Nicaragua. The Don Benino representing Costa Rica. Also, I think, I don't know if all of I know the Empress Sheba. I can't remember the name of the company that puts it out. But I know that tobacco is also Costa Rican. And so we got Padron, Andalusian Bull, Opus X. Of course, we got to throw in Oliva, Series V, Melanio. If we're going to talk about a holy grail, because of the affordability, it's Nicaragua. It's a bit more pleasant. By pleasant, I simply mean is more approachable. And so we got to mention Oliva, Series V, Melanio. I think the reason why I would mention that, because I think what that cigar did, it gave everyone a premium experience. And so the way it was priced, the fact that it's Oliva, the aging of it, the quality of it, the smoothness, the cleanness of the smoke, I think now everyone, and that's why I mentioned with the Padron and the Toro Fuente, they can be a bit expensive, but the Oliva Series V, I think reason why I would put that on the Mount Rushmore, because it gave everybody a chance to smoke an elite cigar. And sometimes the good stuff is reserved for those who got some money and they could search it out. The Series V Melanio, I think, it gave everybody a chance to sit and smoke an elite level cigar. And so, yeah, we talk about Andalusian Bull and Don Carlos Shark. Those are amazing cigars, but Series V Melanio, I think it gave everybody a shot. Old Fogey mentioned the Weller Cohiba. You know what? I'm going to let you eat. I respect your opinion on that one. But as for me and my taste buds, I don't like none of that stuff. I did not like that cigar. In fact, the next topic that we have in mind is worst cigars. So I always start off easy, and then we're going to go in a little bit harder. So we're talking about Holy Grail cigars. Next topic will be worst cigars you ever had. And some of the worst I've ever had has been those Weller type cigars, like that Pappy Van Winkle cigar. That thing was like smoking just grass. I mean, I don't know. I did not like that. I don't like any of the Weller. I don't like any Cohibas unless it's like, Cuban Cohibas. But we'll continue with the conversation. Melanio is some good stuff. Everybody loves Melanio. Melanio is, and I say this all the time. If they had just charged us $25 for each stick, we still would have bought them. What's up, Johnny OCD? Absolutely love his videos. I love your videos, man. I love your talking. You call it rambling and whatnot. I love it. I love it. It's your style. I love it. I gotta get into this Marifel. I haven't had that. Everybody else is talking about it. And so, Holy Grail cigars. We talk about the Opus X, Padron 64, Andalusian Bull, Oliva Series V Milanio. Brothers mentioned the Marifel, and then the one brother mentioned the Weller by Cohiba. So Holy Grail cigars. So I want to just do a quick little icebreaker, see how everybody's doing, see what everybody's smoking. So if you just jumping in, go ahead and check in. Let us know what cigar you got. Speaking of Weller, well, speaking of Buffalo Trace, so tonight I'm sipping on. I got this E.H. Taylor, the small batch. I usually reserve it for celebrations, but I said let's start living it up. Let's start enjoying life. Holy Grail cigars. All right, so that's gonna roll us into our next topic. We always got to start off a little light and easy before we get spicy. Worst cigars. Worst cigars. What's the worst cigars? And okay. What's going on? Brother Peter, welcome everybody. Let us know what you sipping on, what you smoking on. I know Peter always has some good whiskey. So hopefully he's got a good glass, a great cigar. Cuban Friday, boys. Okay. Worst cigars. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get spicy. Let's do this. Magic Toast is terrible. I mentioned old folk. Yeah, small batch is pretty good. I love this. All right, we going in. Magic Toast. Yeah, a lot of people don't like the Alec Bradley stuff. Yeah, that Magic Toast was something else. And you all know, okay, I love Alec Bradley, the Prensado. That's one of my most favorite cigars. Absolutely love. Oh, and since we're talking about Holy Grail cigars, and the reason, because what they did, I do think we got to put the Alec Bradley Prensado in that list. Why? Because it brought us attention to Honduras. And so just like what Arturo Fuente did for Dominican Republic and Padron did for Nicaragua, we got to admit the Prensado really reminded us. Well, not reminded, but it let us know how great Honduran tobacco could be. And Aladino also now continues in that tradition. But Alec Bradley has done some really good things. But that Magic Toast might have been a miss. You know what was a complete miss for me? And I tried smoking this cigar the other day. I went back to it. I tried smoking that black HVC Black Friday Ometepe. Now, HVC, I believe it used to be known as Miami something. So I've always been a big fan of HVC. I always loved the Black Fridays. I got the pan calientes, the hot cakes. I love HVC. It's Agronausa tobacco. I love it. I tried smoking that Ometepe, that Black Friday Ometepe. I should have took a picture of it, but I figured, okay, I don't want to make a spectacle of what they got going on. I smoked, I might have taken 3 puffs of it and just wasted the whole. I just couldn't. I could not. And then I said, okay, well, just smoke it and just don't even think about it. I just could not. It just had a taste that was just, I mean, earth. I don't know if it was spicy or not. It just tastes like something else. I don't know what taste profile they were going for, but that Black Friday, yeah, that thing was absolutely horrible. Like I said, you know it's bad when you light up a cigar, you get all ready, and you smoke like maybe 2 or 3 puffs of it. And I'm thinking, okay, let it develop. I said, no, I'm not letting this thing do anything. It's a wrap. I'm putting this down and I'm getting something else. I hear a lot of people didn't like the Coroneta Maduro. I think Cigar Carpenter just did a review on one of them. I think it might have been a Habano. But yeah, I've heard that Maduro was a swing and a miss. Well, Fogey's got this. He's got this cigar here. Dog turd. That's a thought I was gonna say about that HVC, that Ometepe. It just tasted like I was just smoking. I had to look at the cigar and say, there's no way this is what it's supposed to taste like. Okay. Well, I'm sure the Padron PB97s, I'm sure it's good. I haven't had those. I've been shying away from Padrons. I told you a couple weeks ago I smoked the 26. It tasted so good. But what it did to my head, it just left me just dizzy and just out of it. It took me a whole day to recover. Now, it was probably user error. I had a salad and then smoked the Padron 1926. And that thing just did too much to me. But I'm sure it was user error. Let's see. Fred has said Dumbarton Fiddlehead. And he was greatly disappointed by it. And so, of course, you guys know I'm not the biggest Dunbarton fan for various reasons. That's just my own hang-ups. My therapist said, you got to work that out. You got to work that out. You got to let that go. Let it go. But as far as the tobacco, and so I tried getting into them. I wanted to like them. So, yes, I tried with the Mi Queridas. I didn't like those. The Omboga, I didn't like any of them. I just don't, it just doesn't fit my profile. It just wasn't for me. You know what else I just didn't like? I don't know why. The Undercrown 10. And I generally like Liga Privadas. And I like the Undercrown. I love the Undercrown shade. But that Undercrown 10, and I know a lot of people love it. That's another one. I had like a Churchill size of that. And that was like a 4-puffer. And I just left it in the ashtray. I'm going to start taking pictures of these cigars when I don't want to do that. I don't want to be all messy all the time. I don't want to always be messy. So if you notice, if I don't like a cigar, so in fact, unless we're on a live or unless I'm just feeling extra spicy, if I don't like a cigar, I'm usually not going to say nothing. Unless I just get so fed up, I feel like saying something. But I tend to just say, you know what, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Yeah, Johnny says, okay. The Ligas and the Dunbartons, maybe because they tend to be Connecticut broadleaf. They tend to be strong. All right. What's going on, my friend? What's going on, Junior? Call you Mr. Gaines. Happy birthday to you. Let's all give a quick shout out to Junior. Hey, happy birthday. 41 years old. Happy birthday. Sincerely. Happy birthday to you. Happy for you. In fact, if you email me, I might help you celebrate your birthday. And so, happy birthday to you. We hope that you're smoking a great cigar, drinking the beverage of your choice. And so everybody, just give a shout out to Mr. Gaines here. Happy birthday to you, 41. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. Speaking of cigars that I don't like. And so I shot an entire video. And here's how much I didn't like the cigar. And so, yeah, it was an AJ cigar. It was that Dios de Gloria Brazil, whatever it's called. I don't even know why they got different names. They all taste the same to me. Now, yes, I think the San Lantano line might be okay. But I smoked that Dios de Gloria. And here's how much I didn't like it. I smoked the cigar and I shot a video while smoking the cigar. So while smoking the cigar, I shot a video. And so in front of the camera, and you know my videos, I'm gonna smoke the cigar and then talk about life or some other random thing. And then I'm talking about the cigar, talking about life, talking cigar life. And as I'm smoking the cigar, I thought I would like it because I love all the Brazilian stuff. I love the CAO Brasilia. I love the Amazon basin. I thought I would love it. So I just naturally figured I would love it. So I said, okay, let me just shoot a video. And I assume I'm going to like it. And as I'm shooting the video, I realize that this thing is not good. Now I'm already 30, 40 minutes into shooting a video. And then I just said, you know what? We got to do something different. We got to do something different. And so what I did, I had to become like a Steven Spielberg of editing. So I just had to edit out everything talking about cigars so I've got a video where I don't even mention a cigar because it's that cigar. And I didn't want to say it because I didn't want anyone to think I liked it. And I didn't want to badmouth it. So I just edited out every mention of a cigar. And so there's a video I have out. It came out a couple months ago where it's me and I'm sitting and I'm smoking, but you don't know what I'm smoking because I edited out everything, every mention of the cigar because I just didn't like it. I mean, there was some points where I'm just looking at the cigar like, you taste like dirt. Like, why? How? And it sounds like Johnny likes that cigar. So, hey, more power to you. There's a lot more of them on the market for you because I'm not going to buy them. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of this. That's why I did a whole live stream talking about, hey, because I know how we are. I know the men that are on here, the women that are on here, we're not sensitive. We're not emotional. We can handle it. We can get it. We can go back and forth with each other. If I like a cigar, you don't like that cigar. All right, whatever. We can handle it. We can handle it. But yeah, that cigar was just a miss for me. But let me know what else. What are some of the other cigars, worst cigars that you had? And so I mentioned that Black Friday Ometepe, that Undercrown 10. Just didn't like it. And then what I'll also mention is a cigar experience. So I think this is more of an experience thing than actual cigar thing. And let me know if you guys have had this same experience. And then also, please share with me, what's your worst cigar experience? And I'll tell you what mine is. Okay, so that Warp Black Honey wasn't good. Okay. And this is how we help each other, by letting each other know what's the turds out there, what's the stuff to look for, and what's the good stuff. And so Warp has been putting out some bangers. I got some videos coming out talking about. I'm bringing back the Chinchale. I just love that cigar. I kind of missed out on it when it first came out, and now I can't stop smoking those things. So I'm loving the Warp Chinchale. The Cocodrillo, I'll probably grow to like it. I smoked the New Day the other day. Liked it. It was pretty good. I saw that Cigars Unbanded that they had that. Might have been last week or the week before. So Warp has been putting out some good cigars. But sounds like that Black Honey was a swing and a miss. All right. We gotta hit up the Gurkha. You know what's so funny? Okay. Here we go. All right. Let me get some water because I'm starting to get too comfortable with y'all right now. I'm starting to get too comfortable. I'm starting to get comfortable. So if we say Gurkha is bad, everybody just laughs. Nobody frowns. Nobody gets upset. Nobody cares if you talk bad about Gurkha. But if you talk bad about some other sticks, if you say any, and I knew what I was doing when I said it, but yes, if you say something about AJ, yes, they come for you with the pitchforks. If you say something about soccer, yeah. But if you talk bad about Gurkha, why is that? I mean, where's the Gurkha fan club? How come ain't nobody repping Gurkha? Nobody cares. We can all just badmouth Gurkha. You know what are good Gurkhas? The Cellar Reserve. Those are good cigars. The 12-year, 15-year, those are good cigars. But for some reason, the people just don't like Gurkhas. But here's the thing. If we don't like them, how come they sell so much? Somebody's smoking them. Somebody's smoking them. And Fred has mentioned, and I gotta defend this one. Here's why I gotta defend this. And so I mention all the time, my dad is from the Bahamas. So I grew up in the Bahamas. I lived there from the age of 8 to about 16. Great Cliff is out of the Bahamas. So let me just clear this up. I'm gonna put my cigar down. Clear this up. Great Cliff is one of the finest restaurants in the world. So I had dinner there. I believe my 45th birthday was there. I was in the Bahamas. We went to the Great Cliff restaurant. An exceptional, it's like a 4-diamond, exceptional restaurant. It's one of those restaurants where as you're eating, you have your own waiter. Each person at the table has a waiter attending on you. It's just an exceptional experience. 5-course meal. I believe I had the lamb, one of the best meals I've ever had. In the restaurant, or right outside the restaurant, you have someone rolling cigars. Now, you can say it's Cuban cigars. It's a Cuban gentleman rolling cigars. We're in the Bahamas. And so you're getting freshly custom-made cigars. So as you're eating your dinner, someone is making you cigars. In the cellar for Great Cliff is the 3rd largest privately owned wine collection in the world. In that wine cellar, they've got the oldest bottle of wine. I know this because we did the whole tour and we took all the pictures and everything. So Great Cliff, the establishment, the restaurant, the wine is absolutely phenomenal. If you get a hand-rolled cigar from them, it's great. I bought 5 of them. Those are amazing. Now, next to the restaurant is a factory, little cigar shop, factory. And the products that you might get from there might not be the best. Now, and so again, so it's kind of like let's say Lamborghini has a fragrance. The fragrance might not be the best, but the Lamborghini car is the best. And so I think what happened with Great Cliff, the thing that they do, the custom roll, the restaurant, they got that figured out. But the mass production cigars, that's probably where they struggle with. So I just got to defend that. Why? Because I grew up in the Bahamas, and so we gotta rep the Bahamas. All right, yeah. Matt Bailey had the 15, the cellar 15. Oh yeah. What Cigar Head has mentioned. I did remember a couple years ago there was something. There's something that came out, and so I'm not going to defend Gurkha, but there was something that came out about Gurkha, and something went wrong. Yeah, brother Fred. Restaurant's good. Yeah, if you're ever in the restaurant and you get a hand rolled, that is a great cigar. Now, of course, since it's hand rolled, it's rolled fresh, so you do have to let that sit for a little while, and then it becomes a good cigar. But I do admit that, sure, what you probably buy. So if you jump on, I don't know, Cigars International and buy a box of Great Cliff, I don't know what you're getting then. But yeah, if you want to have the ultimate experience, it's an amazing experience. And so again, I went there for my last birthday. Might have been 2 birthdays ago. My wife took me and my daughter there. Absolutely lovely experience. That was a great experience. Now let me tell you about a bad experience. A bad experience. And so, and maybe you guys have had this experience where I'm always traveling. I'm always traveling. I'm on the road a third of the year. I think might have been San Jose somewhere. Going to a lounge. I got my cigars. I'm ready to smoke, but I always want to patronize the establishment. So I went by a couple cigars from there, and the gentleman, he sees and he says, "Hey, check this out. I got my own hand rolls, my own custom made." And he gives me one. And I'm thinking, okay, good. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. I'm going to put this in my little box here. Thank you. He said, "No, smoke it right now. Smoke it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it." And I smoked that cigar. That cigar it was like smoking ammonia. And we're having a good conversation, and I'm smoking this cigar, and I'm just getting sick. I mean, I know I'm smoking ammonia. This thing is just horrible. It reminds me, one time I try to cook a lot, and I like to make like exotic stuff. So one time I bought some shark, and I tried to cook some shark, and as soon as I started cooking it, the whole kitchen just smelled like ammonia. I just threw that shark in the trash. That's how this cigar was. As I'm smoking it, all I can just taste is like bleach, ammonia. And he's talking to me, and he's talking up the cigar and saying, yeah. And I'm just sitting there, and I guess I just didn't want to offend him too much. And so I smoked like half of it. And I got to the point where I was really saying to myself, you know what? You might die if you keep smoking this thing. So you better stop. I know you're trying to be nice, but all this ammonia it wasn't ammonia. I don't know what it is. It's that off-gassing of cigars when they're young and fresh. This thing off-gassed all, yeah. I'm smoking this thing, and I'm just getting dizzy and sick. But he's talking to me. And finally I said something like, "Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta catch a flight in the morning." And I just set the cigar down. But that was the worst. And because of that experience, whenever anybody gives me a cigar, I don't smoke anything right away, unless it's like an Amazon base and it just came in. Anything, I'm just gonna let them sit for a while, like a year maybe. That one experience, it was so bad. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. And like old fogey said, yeah. I don't know if you ever made shark. I guess shark, because where it is and mercury, and it's just this ammonia. That's how the cigar experience for me was that night. And I imagine I would attribute it to, he was just young. And he was so proud about that stick. And yeah, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right, so we want to talk about some cigars. And so let's just make sure we're checking in. Hit the like button. Do all that stuff. We got some more topics for you. We're going to transition into some things that ain't got nothing to do with cigars. But this is what we do when we get in the lounge. I have never sat in a cigar lounge and talk about cigars. I just, maybe you guys are cigar aficionados and that's what you do. But me, when I sit with my friends, we might start talking about cigars, but then we're going to talk about some life. We're going to talk about some stuff. And so, let's talk about some stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with cigars. It's just on my mind. Things that just be on my mind. Who should you marry? Who should you marry? And I say this because I know, and I say this every week, we got people on here about to get married, people married. I think old Fogey, I think he said he had like 40 years of marriage. I got 18. I know that Stogie Brody, he's engaged. I know Peter's married, and I imagine a lot of people are married. There's something about guys that smoke cigars who I suppose we find ourselves married. Let's give a shout out. Everybody married? Let me know. Let me know how long you've been married. Let me know if you're engaged right now. Because I think maybe there's just something about, maybe there's something about a guy who can sit and smoke a 2-hour-long cigar. He could probably stay in a marriage. I mean, cigars is kind of like being married, I guess. Yeah, this ain't no short thing. And so even as I say this, and again, I just like to talk about life, real stuff. Old Fogey, tomorrow, he's celebrating his 30th. I mean, that's to be applauded. That's to be applauded. Congratulations on that. 30 years tomorrow. Happy anniversary to you. That's a big deal. Brother Chris got 12 years in. Peter, 17 years together, 9 years married. That's an amazing thing. These are the kind of things that I think should be highlighted and talked about. Because the image that they like to say is, oh, families are falling apart. And like, who family? My family's good, you know. Everybody's getting divorced. I mean, hey, we all go through challenges and we deal with some things, but there's some people out here who, and I think the key is okay, well, if old Fogey's got 30 years in, I got 18, Chris got 12, Peter's got 17. Well, okay, well, maybe we ought to just share some information. Share it to who? We could share it with Brother Stogie, who's getting married in August. And so if we can't help each other, if we can't say, hey, look, man, I got 18 years in, man. All right, here's some keys. Here's some pointers. Here's what you ought to do. To me, friends help each other out. I mean, if all I can do is smoke cigars and drink liquor with you, then, you know, I'm not that good to you. But if I could, you know, share some advice with you, let you know something I learned along the way, and if we could do that with each other, then that's an amazing thing. And so what's the advice? 30 years of marriage. What advice is the senior statesman given to us? And this cigar, it's smoking great. Again, this is the EP Carrillo, the Encore. You know me, I'm always going to keep it old school. The Pledge is good. I like the Encore. Me, this is like smoking. It's like a snickerdoodle, like a sugar candy. And I'm drinking a whiskey I normally reserve for celebrations. E.H. Taylor. In fact, this Sunday, tomorrow, well, not Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to be smoking. What am I smoking Sunday? I'm smoking an Atabey. I'm doing a video on Atabey. Gonna be smoking an Atabey. But marriage. Just look at this. Didn't even know this, but I just made an assumption. I made an assumption and say, okay, you know what? We got some men in here. We talking about cigars and whatnot. I bet you these guys got some long tenured marriages. It's an assumption I made. I bet you the guy who smokes a cigar, I bet you the guy who could sit and smoke a cigar for 2 hours, I bet you the guy who could buy a cigar, set it aside, age it for years. I bet you in that crowd, we could find guys who married for 30 years, 17 years. Leroy, 6 years, 11 total. I bet you it was an assumption that I made. And again, for the brothers out there who life comes at you. And so, yeah, sometimes the situation ain't gonna work out. Sometimes, it doesn't work out, But I'm just trying to highlight just an assumption that I made. It was an assumption that, hey, I bet you, again, not knowing anybody. I don't know anybody on this live. Just made an assumption. And I see 21 people here now, and at least 10 people have already said that they got over 10 years. There's something about what we do. There's something about who we are. And these are just the kind of things that I just like to highlight and even preserve. I think in the cigar space, in the whiskey space, in the lounges, you're just going to get a certain type of guy. And so this is why I got no problems just hitting you up with the straight masculine stuff. It ain't toxic. I think I'll make this statement. Even as we're saying this, Brother Ricardo, 12 years. And so this is exceptional. We got half the brothers in here, half the men and women in here, been with their partners for more than 10 years. That ain't a coincidence. And so when I think about, well, what's the answer for society? What's the answer? We the answer. What's going on, Brother Jason? Hey, sometimes it don't work out. You'll get it the next time. You'll get it the next time. Brother Rob, 7 years. I think we the answer. Point blank. I find myself in a lot of different spaces, and I mention this all the time. I'm a pastor. But there's something about when I go in the cigar lounge and I sit with the men there, talk with the men there. It's something different. Yeah, I'm in a fraternity and I like, we have our fraternity meetings and we talk, and church meetings, we talk. But there's something about when I go to the cigar lounge and I meet complete strangers, men I've never seen before, and we already connected. What's going on, frat? You got it. You'll persevere. There's something about the cigar lounge, and there's something about the type of men that go in there. There's something about us. There's a strength to us. There's an ability to us. There's a tenacity to us. And so that's why I feel so comfortable in these spaces. And so I shared the video where I went to a lounge. I pulled up the bio of the owners. It says a married couple. Went to the lounge, had a great time. A couple days later, you can check the video. The owner of the lounge left a comment, said, "Oh man, so glad you came by." There's something that we do that's just a little bit different. There's a strength that we operate with. There's it's simply called manhood, womanhood, masculinity, femininity, being secure, just being solid. And so that's the thing that I just like to highlight and just speak to. Well, let's as we got some more time. We got some more time, but let's give a little bit of advice for Brother Jason out here, for Brother Stogie about to get married, for my single brothers. Let's us old heads, let's give them some advice. We did a show and I talked about who to marry. Yeah, marry somebody who got your back. Marry somebody who supports you. In fact, right before I shot the live, right before I came out here and set up, last thing my wife said, she said, when you do your live, sometimes move your glass out of the frame because the camera starts to focus on that. Wow. Like, okay, thank you, baby. And so here's my wife. Okay, you watching my lies. Okay. I mean, she got 1,000,001 things to do, but she watching, helping. If you ever wonder who does my thumbnails, yeah, my wife does my thumbnails. She used to be my editor. When I said, let's do a channel, she says, okay, I got you. I'll go learn how to edit. I'll learn Photoshop. That's someone you marry. When I became a pastor, my wife said, okay, you can be a pastor. Okay. All right. I'll teach the youth. Wow, really? That's someone you married. Someone who got your back, who whatever you're about to do. I think I could say tomorrow, I want to be an astronaut. My wife be like, okay, I'm gonna start studying space, Get you someone who got your back. Someone who's gonna support you. Now, my wife support me, but yeah, there's rules to this. So when I get in the house, she's like, yeah, man, you need to take them clothes off. You need to go take a shower. I support you, but so she got her own space, but she's gonna support what I do. When that mail show up and she know what it is, there's another box of cigars. In fact, just yesterday, a big box showed up from Rabbit Air, and you'll see a video on that soon. And she just looked at me as I'm setting up my new Rabbit Air. She's like, okay, you do your thing. Get you somebody that's going to support you. And yeah, we saw it. Brother Stogie, his stickers, his rug. And so when he shoots his video, we see that amazing, amazing, what am I saying? Icon behind him. I mean, it just stands out so much. I'm trying to describe it. His sign, that Stogie, that bull with the cigar, and he's like, yeah, my lady got that, made that. Wow. He got his bobbleheads. My lady did that. That's someone who he just started his channel, but it looks like he got someone who she's like, okay, I got you. Whatever you doing, I'm doing. I'm rocking out with whatever you're going to be doing. And that's someone that you choose. That's someone who's got your back, no matter what you're doing. Even if they don't love it. My wife doesn't love cigars, but she knows this is my thing. And so she's got me. You got to have that ride or die person. Brother Matthew smokes a Davidoff Anniversario every anniversary. Amazing. On my anniversary, and I shot a video on it. And this just goes to show just how real what I'm saying. And so what you get to see on camera is my real life. I am an open book. So I figure, hey, I ain't doing nothing wrong. So I can just share everything I'm doing. On my 18th wedding anniversary. So I just mentioned on my 44th birthday. Might have been my 45th. 45th maybe, or 44th. My wife took me to Great Cliff. So when I'm talking about Great Cliff and the winery and my lamb and rolled cigars, my wife paid for all that. She said, hey, you're home. It's your birthday. She called the restaurant, made all the arrangements and everything. I got treated like a king that day. Because my wife knows I'm into wine. She knows I love a good steakhouse. She knows I like cigars. And so she picked the best restaurant on the island, set it all up. On our 18th anniversary, we're about to go out to dinner. But I said, okay, baby, can I shoot a quick video? And that's when I shot the La Polina video. And it was a video to say, hey, much love to the women out there. And my wife is waiting for me. So I shot that video. It was like midday, like 3-4 in the afternoon. We got dinner reservation at 5. And the fact that I said, hey, you know what? We can go, but I got to do something really quick because I just had the idea. And she said, okay, I'll wait for you. That's someone who's got your back. Someone who understands. She knows I'm crazy. I'll just out of nowhere say, I'm gonna go shoot a video real quick. I just had an idea. This is someone who's gonna support what I'm doing. She's there for me. And so let's get some advice for the brothers about to get married. What can we help them with? What can we show them? What kind of advice can we give them? My advice, top of my head, since we smoke cigars, y'all smoke cigars, we smoke cigars. Now, after you smoke a cigar, put your clothes in the garage and go take a shower. So that's just some quick advice. Because don't nobody want to be around somebody who smell like cigar smoke. Our brother Chris said, keep up with your physical and mental health so that you can be the man that your family needs. Yeah. Because you can't pour if you empty. You can't pour into them. So you got to be right. In fact, I shared with you earlier how I talked about how I just chilled and I just relaxed. My wife was here with me. She said, just take it easy. And she said, you want to make you some lemonade? I said, that'd be nice. She made me some lemonade. I just sat out in the sun and just relaxed. And so someone who's going to help you mentally, physically. Well, Fogey said, it's a partnership. Make sure we are supporting each other. Well said. Prensados are good, legendary. Communication. Communication is the absolute key. Communication. And I'd also say just communicating and spending time together. Right before this live started, I was watching on Netflix, Den of Thieves Part 2. I love Part 1. And I'm watching it by myself. It's action-packed. And my wife, she came and she started watching it with me. And then I said, okay, I gotta go shoot this live. I said, I'll turn it off. She said, no, leave it on. And so she ended up just watching Den of Thieves Part 2. It's a 2-hour-long movie, just action, bunch of man stuff. But she got into it, and she says, okay. She says, I'll finish watching it, but we'll watch it together when you get done with your live. Brother Math, be faithful, communicate, be of service. Well said, my friend. Well said, brother. Don't go to bed mad. That's what we always hear. Don't go to bed mad. Okay. Den of Thieves, you know what? It's too long. It's 2.5 hours long. I watched the first hour last night, and so the brother asked, how was Den of Thieves? They should have edited it better. Make it a 90-minute. That thing is 2.5 hours long. So you got to watch that in increments. They could have easily made that thing an hour long, 90 minutes long. And so it's a great movie. Hey, my wife liked it. And so when you pick somebody who supports you, somebody who got you. But brothers, we smoke cigars. So yeah, we probably ain't the easiest ones to live with. The fact that you're going to step outside and smoke a cigar for 1 to 2 hours. Pick someone who understands how you process things. In fact, I lit up a cigar, I think yesterday. My wife said, another one? Because I don't smoke all throughout the week. And she said, you smoking another one? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay, no, that's your time. Go ahead and do your thing. Because she figured, okay, I must be going through something. I must need to smoke. I usually smoke maybe 3 to 5. And I was on a pace to I was smoking every day this week. And so she said, hey, all right, well, she gave me a look that says, all right, well, yeah, whatever you got to process, go ahead and process that thing. But okay. So there is a physical awareness to it. But someone who's got your back, they ain't judging you. They got you. Oh, Fogey says, forgive. Forgive. Well said. That's 30 years. 30 years of advice right there, my friends. Forgive. Because, hey, if you're a knucklehead guy like me, you're going to need to be forgiven of something at some point. But you got to forgive when someone else does something wrong. And then you also got to learn to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is key because, it ain't going to be easy. It's not some easy thing that you just kind of get through. It's a journey. And so we seen who to pick, how to make it last. We giving you some real deal. If someone's watching like, wait a minute, you supposed to be talking about cigars. I ain't talking about no cigars. I'm smoking a cigar. It tastes good. Yeah, it tastes good. I'm drinking whiskey. It tastes good. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? Now that we got that figured out, let's help each other here. Let's talk about something that's real. Remember, you're in the race together. I heard someone say that a marriage is like you in a fighting hole with this person. Y'all fighting together, not fighting each other, fighting together, back to back. You fighting the world because the world out there, the world doesn't want to see us together, and I can get all political, but the world doesn't want to see us together. The world wants single households so they can tax us more. And so that's why when we see the media and the imaging, everything that's pushed on us, Beyonce singing about all the single ladies, that's what the world wants. But I think we got this thing figured out. My wife had promised she was going to start smoking, and she just never did. This is a great topic here. Marriage. In the video that I did where I talk about my favorite Cuban, and I talk about the Romeo y Julieta, and in that video, I showed my wife's garden. And so just as much money as I spend on cigars, she spends on gardening. I mean, look behind me. You see all this stuff? This is our whole house. Our house is like a jungle. There's just gardens everywhere, all in the house, just plants everywhere. And so when I get my box of Partagas Lusitania, and I just gotta sneak it away, don't tell her what it cost, and she gets her box of whatever succulent just came in, that's her hobby, her money. I got my hobby, my money, and we just gotta respect each other. We gotta respect each other. Hallmark Channel. Yeah. All right, brothers. Pick the right one. Do the right thing. And so you've gotten all the advice in the chat. Brothers have said about communicating, forgiving. Find someone that's going to support you. And sometimes what I've noticed in life, to the brothers who, sometimes you might feel like you're just in this by yourself. You're trying to figure it out alone. But I think when we start having these conversations, we start to realize that there's more of us than there are of them. There's a lot of good people out here. There's a lot of good marriages out here. There's a lot of good men out here, a lot of good women out here. I see them every time I go into a cigar lounge. We are who we need. And so I just wanted to make sure we keep that in mind. All right, last topic. I usually end with some kind of fragrance or some kind of, I'm going to go in a different direction tonight. Well, I'm always going to do something different. You never know what I'm going to do. I've enjoyed this thing drank really well. E.H. Taylor small batch. This cigar smoked really well. I know you saw me light it a couple times. That's only because I'm talking and not paying attention to it. Smoked great. Lots of flavor. Like I said, lots of brown sugar on this. The pledge is good, but I really like the Encore. What am I going to leave you with? Might seem way left field. Man stuff. Here's a simple little man stuff for you, gentlemen. And I get a sense that most of the brothers, the ladies watching, mainly for the fellas, ladies, this applies to. Here's the deep man stuff for you tonight. Deep man stuff. It's gonna blow your mind. Deep. Wear a watch. That's it. That's the advice for tonight. That's the advice for tonight. Wear a watch. Now I know we got our phones, and if I need to see what time it is, I'll just look on my phone. Nah, gentlemen, wear a watch. Make sure you're always wearing a watch. Whenever you step outside, have a watch on. Why? Because it shows the world that, look, there's something about wearing a watch there's a seriousness that comes with that. There's something that says that, look, I got things to do. I got to focus. There's something that even just I'm grown. I got a watch on. When a man wears a watch, there's just a certain level of seriousness you're going to be received with. You're going to go about things in a different way. And so I got me an automatic watch. So every time I put it on, I wind it up every morning. That's my ritual. Before I leave the house, I throw my watch on. When you go out into the corporate world, any world, the job site, if you're working a job site, you got a watch on. Right away, there's an instant thing that says, yeah, this guy's focused. Get you a watch. Always have a watch on. And so it's 3 different kind of watches you ought to have. You got to have your work watch, a little stainless bracelet. And I'm not talking, you don't have to have no Rolex, no Submariner. Just get you a good solid watch. It shows your seriousness. It shows your awareness. It shows that this is the person who's prepared. This is a person who's got stuff going on. I noticed that, yes, once we started getting cell phones and all of a sudden, nobody wears a watch anymore. But again, when we look at, and I could even do a quick little poll. How many men wear a watch every day? And see? How many wearing watches? I know Johnny OCD, I believe he's I know he's a big car enthusiast. This is a man who doing stuff. We got stuff going on. I think he's buying cars and fixing cars and just most serious men who out here getting stuff done. I know Cigar Carp, I believe he's a foreman. Men who out here who when we step outside, we got things that's going on. We got people dependent on us. We got projects to meet. We got stuff to do. Time is important. And you're respecting of that time. You just being aware of that time. Just you walking into a meeting, walking on a job site, you got a watch on. That's already signaling to everybody. There's somebody who's serious. You're dealing with a man at this point. You're dealing with a man. I was a Marine and they told us, you got to be 15 minutes early for everything. There's time. There's a focus. Every Marine's got his G-Shock watch on. And so have you your work watch, good, strong, stainless steel watch. Have you your play watch, your going out watch. That could be a little bit more flashy. Have you your formal wear watch, something with a leather band. And again, you don't have to spend a whole ton of money. You got companies like Citizen and Casio, and there's a lot of good watches out here. Now you can get into the Tudors and sure, if you want to start rocking some Rolexes and all that stuff, but make the investment in a good watch. It works wonders. When I walk into a room, I'm smelling good. I got my fragrance on, got my watch on, I'm well shaved. when I walk into a space, people just look at me and already know this guy's serious. Someone made a comment about smartwatches. Smartwatches, okay. Smartwatches, that's the new school. That's the new way of doing it. That's what the new generation's doing. I mean, at least it's something. But I like to walk into a room, walk into a space, and let people know that, nah, man, I'm old school. You dealing with an old school man right here. I got a watch on. And so we just wanted to provide you with a moment tonight of just relaxing, of chilling, of unwinding. What's my fragrances? And so, in fact, it's so funny, just yesterday, because the weather has changed out here. So now we are in spring. So I know some of you guys, it's still snowing where you are, but out here in California, it's springtime. It's hot. It's 70 degrees, 75 degrees. And so I was wearing I'm serious about the fragrances. I got a rotation. I got a fall fragrances, spring type fragrances, summer type. I got a whole rotation that I rotate out. And my wife, she gave me a hug yesterday and she goes, "Oh, wow, what are you wearing?" I said, "Oh, it's springtime. I'm wearing my spring work fragrance." I had on that Baccarat 540. That's what I had on. I was rocking that. Springtime, I'm rocking some, okay, I'm gonna get all bougie on you, but I'm rocking some Creed, Green Irish Tweed. And I showed you what are great alternatives to some of these fragrances. You can go with, instead of, if you don't have Green Irish Tweed, Creed Green Irish Tweed, you can get you, it's called, the name of the company is La Arahim. They're all going to be Arabic companies, and it's called Night. You can get you that on Amazon. Fresh. Smells like Irish spring. Springtime is here. And so I also, and last night I took a shower, sprayed on some Mont Blanc Explorer. So if you don't have Creed Aventus, spray on some Mont Blanc Explorer. And so, gentlemen, your image matters. The way you smell matters. You walk into a space. You got to be ready. All right, let me see what the fellas are talking about. Yeah, great watch recommendation. Definitely the Citizen Eco Drive. Yes, that is what I have. Thank you, Ron. I got that. That's a watch that works. And you guys are like, wait a minute. You a watch expert? So this is just it. Hey, we're gonna talk whiskey, cigars, fragrances, watches. We can do some things. But what I like about that Citizen, that Eco Drive, it works off of sunlight. It's got a battery in there, but it's charged by sunlight, motion, and then the battery is a backup. So you got to watch. I got 2 Eco Drives. I got a leather band one, and then a steel band one. I had them things about 10 years now. They never changed out a battery or nothing. And then definitely a G-Shock. And so, I actually forgot. I forgot to bring down my watches. I forgot I had this segment of the show, so I should have brought down my watches. And so Ron's mentioned Citizen, G-Shock, and then his church watches, the Tag Heuer. Yeah, tags are pretty good. Gentlemen, we are all we need. We know what we need. We know what we got. Oh, you got that Louis Vuitton. Oh, that's just a killer. Louis got some fragrances. All right, where you guys are is it ain't springtime just yet. All right, brothers, we here for y'all. We do this for the people. We do this for you guys. That's why we do this. G-Shocks. G-Shocks are the way. I love a G-Shock. And I've got a G-Shock where it's on like a steel frame. And so it looks like an AP if you looked at it from far. but it's an amazing watch. And my G-Shock is actually linked to my phone. So here's why I got the G-Shocks. The ones I have, I got 2 of them. They are linked to my phone. And so whenever I'm traveling, I'm always in different time zones. As soon as I land in a new time zone, the watch adjusts to my phone and resets itself. And so that keeps me aware and alert. All right, some dental work. Good stuff, brother Tommy. Tommy, do what you got to do. Tissot, good brand. And so, hey, a couple hours ago, like I said, I was standing in the grass, barefoot, letting the sun just relax me. Close my eyes. Just got relaxed. Let Earth take care of me. Then I just got a glass of lemonade that my wife made, sat on my lawn chair, and just relaxed and chilled. I knew I'd be doing this, but before I could do this and pour into y'all, I had to just relax myself. And so we are here just for the people. We are here to have these kind of conversations. We are here just as a reminder that, look, it's more of us than there are them. All the topics we talked about, marriage, watches, fragrance, cigars, whiskey. There's a lot of good men out here, a lot of good women out here. We are what we need. And so I know you might look at society, you might look at the news and be like, oh man, it's all falling apart. We the ones to fix it. When we start talking about these things and letting it be known that no, we out here. And we and that's why I don't even mind if I come across as aggressive. Look, whatever. We ain't just gonna let things keep happening the way that they happening. We are out here. G-Shock. Oh, his brother's a CB. Blessings to you, brother Rob. I'm a Marine. So yeah, CBs are one of the, we have great respect for the CBs. And so Marines, we consider the CBs to be like brothers to us. So thank you for your service. But as a Marine, I learned you always have a watch on you. Have your watch. Have your watch. And I bet you Rob has this. You got a watch, you got a knife, you got a Leatherman. And so as a man out here, yeah. Ron, his side chick is his dental hygienist. You know, I got a dentist appointment on Wednesday. So we got to take care of ourselves. So blessings, my brothers, sisters of the leaf. We got some sisters that be chiming in, rocking out with us. So we do this for the people. So again, next week, what you're going to start to see, you're going to see me 6 days a week. You're going to see me from Monday through Saturday. You're going to see me out here. I've retweaked my system. I got the live figured out. So I know on Tuesday, you're like, man, why is he shooting in the dark? Got the camera figured out. I think I got the sound figured out, lights figured out. I had to work out my systems. So we bringing you the lives Tuesdays, 6 o'clock. That's just a quick little timeout. Fridays, we doing this. And next week, we hitting you up with videos Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We hitting into the weekends. And so we got the content. I say this all the time. Hey, look, I've got about 4 months worth of content. So we are here. But as long as you all are supporting this, as long as you're supporting this, then you're going to start seeing this. And so we're here for the people. So before we wrap up, please just hit the like button. I know we're about to wrap up, but just so on the replay, it can get out there and brothers can see, sisters can see what we've been talking about. We doing this. All the topics we cover, we can do anything. Because what you start to see is that the same guys that smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and they're into marriages, they work hard, they got good jobs, they're into watches, fragrances. Yeah. we out here. And so it's time that we just acknowledge that. And so I thank you all. We got an hour, 35 minutes in. We can do this all night. I appreciate you. I want you to finish your cigar, get back to your lady, get back to the thing you was going to be doing on a Friday night. We are here for the people. And so like, comment, subscribe. But most importantly, rise and grind.